Hi, this is Travis at CrossFit Invictus. We are looking at press to handstands. I'm going to show you 3 different methods that I like to use with a box, with a mat, and with a wall. All 3 have their own attributes, so using them in different situations might be applicable. So we're going to start with the box. This is probably the easiest version of a press to handstand. Now I'm 5'8", I'm not that tall, so I've got this thing down at its 20-inch mark. And I'm going to put my hands on the floor. I'm turning my hands out slightly, as you'll see in a minute. That's because my wrist mobility is not that great. It kind of gets sticky in there, a little bit of wrist pain, but unrelated to this. So what I'm going to do is put my feet up, hands on the floor, walk my feet in close to the edge of the box, and then I'm going to try to lean my body weight forward past my hands to get my hips to kind of shift over my hands and to create a balance in the weight on the front side of my hands and on the back side. So back side being my legs, front side being my shoulders and my head. And you're gonna see I'm gonna stick my head out a little bit too. So here's how it goes. Hands go on the floor. I'm gonna start on my knees on the box, turn my hands out. That way I can lean without having that issue of, wrist pain or lack of wrist mobility. And then from here, bring my feet in, keep my knees close to my chest, and then slowly start picking up my feet to go to a handstand. From there, if you can get back to the box safely, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. So just here, lean, hips above the hands, and press. Now that you've seen the box press to handstand, this is the next option. This one's harder than the last one. We're starting with more body weight lower than our hips. And so what we're gonna have to do is try to shift our weight a little bit further over our hands. So again, we're going to turn our hands out. We're going to put our feet up on the mat here. And then this time when we start pressing up into the handstand, we're going to straddle our legs. So straddling, like separating our legs. The reason why we do this is because it's kind of a balanced leverage thing. So like if you know what a planche is your body being completely stretched out and your hands supporting you. That's extremely difficult. So if you're keeping in mind that the further your feet are from the middle point of the balance, which is your hands, the harder it is. By keeping your feet closer this way, it becomes easier. So we're going to straddle to keep our feet from going backward. They're going to go sideways instead, and that should make the amount of lean a little bit less in order to get upside down. So as soon as I get my weight to feel like my toes can move, I'm going to start pulling my legs apart and then trying to get up to a handstand, okay? So hands on the floor, keeping them kind of close to the mat. I see a lot of people try it out here. Again, my feet are further from my hands, which is the balance point. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna push up on my toes and then straddle my legs up to a handstand and bring right back down. Okay, and then we're gonna look at the way that we use the wall for a press to handstand. Now, this can be a kind of a tricky one to get into to adjust your body weight. And really, depending on your leg weight, it's gonna make your hands have to go further or closer to the wall. So I've got kind of skinny little gymnastics legs, so I don't need to put my hands as far away from the wall. With that in mind, having your hands further away from the wall for heavier legs or lack of flexibility, that will be necessary. So the way I like to have people do this is they lean up against the wall and I'm pressing with my toes so I can actually pick up my hands. Now from this position, I know this looks kind of awkward or dangerous, like I could slide, but I'm pushing, I'm fine. I'm gonna reach my hands out as far as absolutely possible toward my feet and then set them down. From here, that's how I know that I'm in the right position to lean up against the wall and press. You're not gonna make full handstand right away, as in your shoulders aren't gonna be pressing off of the wall, but you can do that once your feet start coming up. So I'll show you that in just a moment. But when you're leaning up against the wall, you're going to have your hands in kind of like what seems like a compromised position for a handstand. This is just to get the idea of leaning past your hands and knowing that the wall's not going to move. I don't think my wall's going to move. So I feel pretty safe leaning up against this thing. It's just a little bit difficult. It's a little awkward. But once you get it, then you can repeat it, and then you really start to catch on with the press. So leaning up, and this time, I'm gonna see what I can do about pushing away. No guarantees. So I'm pushing, hands reach out, my arms are locked, and then press up. So you kind of got to give it that last little bit of shove in order to pop away from the wall, but it's totally doable. You got it. Go for it.